Hello kids, welcome to this class. In this final class, we are going to be looking at basic operations of fractions. In basic operation of fraction, we looked at addition, subtraction, multiplications, and division of fractions. But first, let's look at addition of fractions. Addition of fraction means to add fractions. For example, the diagram on the screen is 3 over 8 plus 2 over 8. 3 over 8 plus 2 over 8. Now, when you look at this, you are going to add the shaded portion, and that gives us 5 over 8. That is 5 out of 8. Now let's look at another example of same denominator. So let's add this fraction. 4 over 8 plus 2 over 8. 4 over 8 plus 2 over 8. 4 over 8 plus 2 over 8. That gives us an 8 as denominator. 4 plus 2. Now we are going to get 6 over 8. This can further be reduced to 2 into 6, that's 3. 2 into 8, that is 4. So that is 3 over 4. That becomes our final answer. Alright? Now, let's look at the simple subtraction. 4 over 5 minus 3, 2 over 3 rather. 4 over 5 minus 2 over 3. The first thing we do is to find the LCM. To find the LCM. 4 over 5 minus 2 over 3. Well, the LCM is 15. That's 3 times 15. 3 times 5. Well, 5 into 15 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 into 15 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So when we subtract this, we are going to get 2 as numerator and 15 as denominator. Now let's look at addition of mixed numbers. When doing addition of mixed numbers, using this method, we can start with the whole numbers first and then the proper fraction. The 2, the 4 are added first. So we have 2 plus 4. Then after that, we try to add the proper fractions. You have the 1 over 6 plus the 2 over 3. Now we start with the whole numbers. So 2 plus 4 is 6. Then we look at the denominators of the proper fractions if they are the same. Well, we have a 6, we have a 3. We try to make 3 a 6. To do that, we multiply 3 by 2, because 3 times 2 gives us a 6. Now, we try to balance it up by doing the same to the numerator. So, we have 2 times 2. Okay? So, once we do this, we are definitely going to get 1 over 6 plus 2 times 2, or 4, all over 3 times 2, 6. Now we have 6 on both sides. So, because they are 6, we can pick one of them, and we have a 6 over, then you add the numerator, which is 1 plus 4, and that will give us a 5. So, we are going to bring the whole number down. That's the next thing to do, and then we will have a 6 whole number, 5 over 6. Alright, now let's look at subtraction of mixed numbers. Subtraction of mixed numbers. Previously, we separated whole numbers while doing this similar work, that is addition of mixed numbers. But this time, we are going to change the mixed numbers to improper fractions. We change each of the fraction to improper fraction. Alright? Now, when you look at the denominator, you discover that the first is 4, and what we normally do when changing is to multiply the denominator by the whole number and add the numerator. Okay, so when you multiply 4 by 3, you get a 12, and you add your 3. Now in the second mixed number, we have a denominator 8, so we are going to multiply 8 by 1 to get 8. Then we add 8, which is the result of multiplying 8 by 1 to the number on top. Okay, and the number on top happens to be a 7, so we add 8 to 7. Now in this situation, we are going to have, in the first one, we are going to have a 15 over 4, but in the second one, we are going to have a 15 over 8, or 15 over 8. Well, the numerators are the same, but the denominators, which determines the LCM to use, is different. So 4 is a factor of 8, so we try to make 4 looks like an 8. We try to make 4 looks like 8 by multiplying it by 2. So now, when we multiply the denominator by 2, we know we are also going to multiply the numerator by 2 to balance up everything. So, as we multiply 4 by 2 to get an 8, we are also going to multiply the numerator by 2 to get 30. So we have 30 over 8 minus 15 over 8. Now the denominators are the same because both of them are 8. As usual, we pick one of them and write it down. That's an 8. Then the numerator is going to be 30 minus 15. 30 minus 15. Now let's move to this other side. We are going to definitely have 15 over 8. 15 over 8. Now, this is an improper fraction, and we normally do not leave our answers as improper fraction. We change them to mixed fraction. So to do this, we have to divide 15 by 8. So we have 15 divided by 8. Now the result of dividing 15 by 8 is 1. Then 1 times 8 is an 8, so we subtract them. And when we subtract them, we get a 7. So it is 1 remainder 7. 1 remainder 7. So that now gives us 1 whole number. 1 whole number 7 over 8, which is the denominator. 1 whole number 7 over 8. So that is our final answer. Now the third thing we are going to look at is multiplication of mixed fractions. But we must remember, when doing this, we cannot separate whole numbers, but we change to improper fraction. You change each mixed number to improper fractions. Now recall that when we are changing mixed number to improper fraction, we multiply the denominator by the whole number, that is 6 times 1, that is 6. Alright, then this 6, after you are done multiplying it by 1, you add up the numerator. Okay, that is plus 5. So 6 times 1 plus 5 times, then we move to the next one. The denominator here, as you can see, is what? Or 2. Now, as usual, you try to multiply the denominator, by 4, okay, and then add the numerator. So that gives us 2 times 4 plus 1. Now, once we are done with that, we try to multiply and add up the numerator over the denominator times the same thing, 2 times 4 plus 1. That is 8 plus 1 over 2. Now, in this case, recall we are not looking for LCM of any sort, but we are just going straight to simplify the fraction. So we are going to have 11 over 6 for the first one, and a 9 over 2 in the second one. Now when you look at 9 and 6, there is a 3 that can divide 9 and can at the same time divide the 6. So before we multiply, we divide the 9 by 3 and the 6 by 3. But first, we are going to start with the 9. 9 divided by 3, you get a 3. Now, that same 3, we use it to divide the 6 and get a 2. So, we are going to try to simplify this, okay? Let me move it to this other side. So, we try to simplify it. The numerator, first of all, is going to be 11 times 3 over the denominator, which is 2 times 2. Well, the answer to this is 33 over 4. 33 over 4. Now, we are going to divide this 33 by 4 because this is an improper fraction, and no answer should be left as improper fraction. unless we are asked to change to improper fraction. So now let's divide 33 by 4. Now, when we divide 33 by 4, we are going to get 8. 8 times 4 is 32. And when we subtract that to get the remainder, we get a 1. Okay, so it means 33 divided by 4 is 8 remainder 1. So we are going to have 8 whole number, 1, which is the remainder, over the denominator, which is what? A 4. So we have 8 whole number 1 over 4 as our final answer. Now let's finally look at division of fractions. Now we are looking at division of mixed numbers. Recall that we must first of all change mixed fraction to improper fraction. Then we can divide. But first, let's change our mixed fraction to improper fraction. The denominator of the first fraction is a 3, and so we try to multiply the whole number by the denominator and add up the answer to the numerator. So that is going to give us 3 times 3, which is a 9, plus 1 over 3, divided by the same way we multiply the denominator in the second fraction by the whole number, which is a 2, and then add it to the numerator. So the denominator, which is 5, we write it down and then multiply the 5 by 2, and that is going to be a 10. Then we add that result to the numerator, which is a 3. So we try to simplify this. So 9 plus 1, we get a 10 over 3, divided by, we add the numerator of the second fraction, which is 10 plus 3, that's a 13, over 5. Now, to divide fractions, we must change the division to multiplication and simultaneously invert the fraction after it. So we have 10 over 3 times, this time becomes a 5 going to the top while the 13 comes down. So that is 5 over 13. Now let's multiply. We are going to have a 50. That is 10 times 5. 50. 10 times 5 over 3 times 13. 10 times 5 over 3 times 13. So let's simplify further, and we are going to get 10 times 5, 50, and 3 times 13, that's a 39. Now we are going to try to change this improper fraction to mixed fraction, because we cannot leave our answer as an improper fraction. So let's try to use the method of dividing again, and then we divide 50 by 39. 50 divided by 39. Now when we do this division, we are going to get a 1. 1 times 39 is 39. Then we try to subtract as usual using our DMSB. So we are going to have 11. So it means 50 divided by 39 is 1, remainder 11. So we are going to have 1 as a whole number. Then the remainder, which is 11, becomes our numerator, that is 11 over 39. 1 whole number, 11 over 39. So we'll bring the 39 down and write it there. So our final answer is therefore one whole number 11/39. Thank you for watching and see you in the next class. Hello, great minds. Welcome to today's class. In this class, you will be learning order of operation. Order of operation in fractions. Now, we are going to first of all look at what order of operation is. Well, order of operation is an acronym that is used to show the order basic operations are done. What is this basic operation? Or what are these basic operations rather? We call them BODMAS, and the B stands for bracket, O is off, D is division, M is multiplication, A is addition, and S subtraction. Now, let's look at the application. Now, there is a problem here that we need to solve. It says simplify 1/3 times 1/5 of into bracket 1/2 plus 1/4 bracket close divided by 4/5. Well, this is a combination of different basic operations. We have a times, of, plus, and division. Alright, so we are going to try to take them one after the other. We deal with the of, the brackets, the addition, and the division. Alright, now let's begin. First of all, when you look back at what we have here, according to BODMAS, B comes first, which stands for bracket. And so that means whenever we see a problem like this, we do the bracket first. In the bracket, we have 1/2 plus 1/4. So let's deal with that first. 1/2 plus 1/4. 1/2 plus 1/4. First, the LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. And we try to combine the fractions. So 2 divided 4 is 2 times 1 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So we can see the bracket at the end of the day gives us 3/4. 3/4. Alright? Now, once we have done the brackets, the new fraction becomes a different thing. Where the new fraction becomes 1/3 times 1/5 of 3/4 divided by 4/5. Now, according to BODMAS, what comes next is off. So we have 1/5 of 3/4. 1/5 of 3/4. Now, what is this going to give to us? Now, let's find out. Alright? Now, 1/5 of 3/4 will become 1/5 times 3/4. You and I know that off means times. So we have 3 times 1 gives us 3. Alright? Alright, 1 over 3, 1 over 5 rather, times 3 over 4 is equal to 3 over 20, because 3 times 1 is 3, and 5 times 4 is 20. So we have 3 over 20. Alright, now we are going to be looking at the other parts of the fraction. So we now have 1 over 3 times 3 over 20 divided by 4 over 5. So in a more simplified form, we can now tackle this problem. Division comes before multiplication, so we change the division to multiplication. And once we do that, we are going to get 1 over 3 times 3 over 20 times 4 over 5, of 5 over 4 in an inverted form. Now once we have done that, we have 3 cancel out 3. 3 will now cancel out 3. Alright, so we now have 20 here and the 5. So when 5 divides the 5 and gives you 1, 5 divides 20 and gives you a 4. So what we have left is 1 on the numerator and 2 4 on the denominator. Alright, so now we will have 1 times 1 times 1 over 4 times 4. This we know that give us 1 over 16. So it means the result of the problem that was given to us originally is 1 over 16. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next class. Bye.